knocked loose. White dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor.
They try to save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, layup. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derrick White.
Wayne Spooney here, First to the Floor podcast, recording what will inevitably be Exhibit A in my wife's divorce petition because it is Valentine's Day night here and I'm recording a podcast. Jake, how's it going, buddy?
Very good. We had Valentine's Day here yesterday. We celebrated. I did the washing.
Nice.
Very impressive stuff. For me as a husband, which I do every week, but we're multiple times per week. But I don't know, not big Valentine's Day household.
Same.
But shout out to everybody. Oh, like there's never a bad reason to do something fun with your significant other. So I like it for that reason. But everything else, whatever. Before we hopped on, you said you're not very prepared, which is important because the NBA is also not prepared to put on like an all-star weekend. I've just been following it through Twitter, some of the dunk contest stuff. Thank you. If you're here, you're watching the better content, which
damn right
you are. You already knew that.
Yeah, dude. I am a curmudgeon. I fucking don't like All-Star Weekend. 3-point contest is the only thing I like really kind of care about, but I hate the game. The dunk contest since Aaron Gordon like has had zero juice. Honestly, I feel like every dunk has been done at this point. Like there's no way to be creative anymore. We've completed the dunk contest. And so like, you know, I got nothing for All-Star Weekend. I'd much rather talk about the Celtics than talk about what's going on over there. So all right, today, kind of a double show here. Me and Jake are going to do about 35 minutes on the grades so far for the season. And then we're going to jump over to Patreon and I think get Jake's thesis introduction for his PhD in Derrick White. So jump over there. We're going to do a Derrick White deep dive for another 30-ish minutes or so. So it should be a good time. Off the rip, I don't know where we should start, Jake, but I'm thinking Mazzulla. Do you want to start with Mazzulla's grade? And I think this one's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, look, if you don't like the Celtics or think the Celtics have been bad for some reason this season, I don't think you're going to like this section of the podcast very much. How do you like? What are we doing? We're doing A, B, C, D.
I like letter grades. With the plus and minuses. Yeah,
I love letter grades. A plus.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
There's not going to be a ton of bad grades, I don't think, to hand out, which is great. I hate handing out bad grades. I was wrong about everybody. Shout out Trey on Twitter, who's been like reposting everybody's like preseason predictions. And I looked at mine. I had 39 wins. I had the Celtics with bottom 8 defense. Very wrong. But I had Jaylen Brown like 26, 5 and 4 on with less than 4 turnovers. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Queta Pritchard can be a solid backup big, but like all of it's just so wrong. Even like the somewhat optimistic stuff. And Mazzulla is probably the head of the snake. And the way that he has been pulling levers every single game, rotating in and out, whether it's Ugo, Walsh, Josh Minot, like early in the season to DNPs, playing small for like 3-4 weeks to now never playing small. Like he's really just toggling through all the different options. And what I love about it is I feel like one of the criticisms about Joe may have been like coming into this season that he was stubborn and he would find stuff and like be kind of refuse to get off stuff. And maybe that's what he learned from last season and what he learned from the playoffs and refusing to get off Porzingis, because he's been the complete opposite this season. And I think maybe the magnus opus of that like mindset was the game where he benched all the starters in the middle of the game. I want to say that was against the Pacers. And the bench comes in and turns the game around, and they come back and win.
It started in the preseason where if you didn't get an offensive rebound, you got pulled. It didn't matter who you were. If you didn't try hard enough on the glass, you were coming out of the game. Yeah, I think Joe's a pretty clear A+. Not only has he pressed all the right buttons, he's done it in a way where he's integrated all these young wings and got them all playing really good basketball to the point where going into the season, I was like, who the hell is going to play after Sam Hauser? And now it's like, we don't have enough minutes for all of these guys. Like, who gave us some good minutes? Definitely enough where someone should give him a look as like a 10th or 11th man. He just completely got lost. DNPs over and over again, which was the right decision because of the way Walshy and Baylor and Ugo are playing. And, a lot of credit goes to Mazzulla. So I think he's an easy A+ for me. Yeah.
That's
moving on.
Complete no-brainer. Also important to note, he gets extra credit for when he jiu-jitsu moved Sam Cassell that one time where he got really mad.
Of course.
That's
course.
just like, you can't improve on the 4.4 GPA, but that has been noted on the application.
Yeah, it's like like he's on Honor Society and he jiu-jitsu'd Sam Cassell. OU, as always, Diet 7-Up cherry. It's my addiction. Beautiful. It's my go-to. I drink them nonstop. All right, Jaylen Brown. I think I might have a little bit of a hot take here.
Okay.
I think Jaylen has been awesome offensively. I think his defense has come and gone. Okay. There's a lot of turnovers, but considering his usage, it's not like terrible or anything like that. He's been, efficient enough for somebody on his volume. We've looked pretty good when he's not on the court, which I think hurts him a little bit. So I'm going to go A- for Jaylen. I'm not sure what else he could really do other than you know what? I'm going A. I'm going to go A. That's not it's got to be an A. Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, but the efficiency has really come down in the past 15 games or 20 games or whatever it is at this point. But he, especially early, I think before the team really figured out its identity, him playing as well as he did was so important for how they stayed afloat. Yeah. And he drove a ton of winning. And even the on-off stuff, that's come, and that's to do with probably tied in with the efficiency as well. Last 15 games, still 28.7 points per game, but 45% from the field, 28% from three. A lot of this is just volume now, but the rebounding's ticked up massively. So that's just the overall will to win. I know it's kind of cliche or whatever, but in the Heat game, was the Heat game? Yeah, where they were coming back. There's just been stretches in these games where he just looks like a version of Giannis, where it gets downhill over and over again. He's not getting to the free throw line as much as someone like that, but the relentlessness, the leadership, all of the above. I know the on-off stuff and the advanced stuff doesn't love Jaylen Brown. And part of that, I think, is, him not getting to go against bench units, but he doesn't impact the game in that way. And I still don't fully understand it myself. But
go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, and I feel like what's often lost in that conversation about the advanced stats with Jaylen is we still beat the shit out of the other team when he's on the court. It's just not quite as aggressively beating the shit out of him. We're still plus 5.7 with him on, which is a 50 something win pace. And that's against starting units. Yeah. The weird stuff happens when basically everybody's negative when Derrick White's not on the court. So that's the real wacky stuff. But I mean, we're killing teams when Jaylen's out there. It's just a matter of our bench guys really destroy other teams' benches. And the counting stats, 29, 7, 4.7, career high assists. He's brought it. He has a huge load. He's been asked to carry. And I think to your point, it is kind of like boomer brain, like they're, like playing hard culture. It all starts with this team plays hard as hell, and it starts with Jaylen Brown.
Yep, I think that's huge. Like when you see him grabbing 12 boards, guarding the opposing team's best player, and that relentlessness getting downhill, I definitely bleeds into the rest of the team. It's a great, and great point on like the on-off stuff. Our bench has just been awesome.
Yep.
And like the waves of the wings, the depth that we have, the offensive rebounding, keeping the turnovers down with Pritchard and Derrick White on the court, like that, is definitely a huge part of it. Like, I know in my heart that if you take Jaylen Brown off this team, they're toast.
Yep.
Like on a night tonight. And I know they haven't been in like the small sample in even the games that he's missed, but and they somehow won that Rockets game. And not just win that Rockets game, they kicked the shit out of the Rockets. But I believe in my heart of hearts that like you take Jaylen Brown off this team, they're much worse. And they're probably still a lot better than I thought they could be, even if you take Jaylen Brown off because of Mazzulla and everybody else we're going to get to. But yeah, you can't take Jaylen Brown off this team. You need the ability to score, even if the efficiency isn't there.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I'm totally with you. Like, I don't care what the advanced stats say. Like, if Derrick White's our number one option, it's going to look pretty bad against a lot of the NBA, and Derrick can instead excel at what he excels at around Jaylen Brown. Speaking of Derrick White, you go first. Derrick White's your guy, the mistress. Like, actually, let me set the table a little bit.
Okay.
I think this is really a tale of like counting stats versus analytics.
Yes.
Like his hard counting stats, 17, 4.5, 5.6, 2.6 stocks, which is ridiculous for a guard, is just fine. It's the efficiencies under 40% from the field. Like the worst 3-point shooting year of his career. And then the advanced stats are nutty. I said it in the Jaylen section. Everybody's negative when Derrick White's not on the court. It's absolutely nuts. Our on-offs are just absurd with D White, like a +11 with him on and +2 with him off. So Jake, open it up.
I love him. And I posted earlier on Twitter because I'm writing about Derrick White. We're talking about Derrick White. We're doing the Derrick White deep dive. It's Derrick White week, apparently, because why not? It should always be Derrick White week. He is a superstar analytics player, and he just nothing has crystallized the importance or lack thereof of individual scoring efficiency than Derrick White's season this year. We've talked about it with Tatum previously because he is like the actual superstar version of this, in that you don't need him to be 62, 63% true shooting when you're doing everything else, when him being on the court allows you to do so many things. And Derrick White is basically just like the shorter version of that. And like, I don't want to step too much on the deep dive. I think the deep dive is going to be a lot of film stuff, but it starts on the defensive end, I think, in particular this year. The fact that he is not just the best, like easily the best guard rim protector in the NBA this season, but like one of the best rim protectors in the NBA this season.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to the history of the NBA, they didn't record blocks for a long time, but Derrick White's averaging 1.4 blocks this year. There are 3 players in the history of the league that have averaged at least 1.4 blocks per game. Michael Jordan twice. Derrick White. This is one really surprised me. Do you want to try guess one other player?
Shot blocking
Wade.
guard.
Derrick Wade was 1.3.
Danny Green.
Tracy McGrady.
Oh yeah, I mean, he does not count. Tracy T-Back was like 6'9".
I know. So that was the thing. Like I was trying to figure out where I cut the
guard. You search guard, and he comes up.
Because I took out Giannis.
Like
T-Mac, I think he kind of played more like a guard, even though
he did. He definitely was a guard, but I feel like that's cheating.
Yeah. If we change it to like 6'6" and under, then it's basically Derrick White and Michael Jordan.
Yes.
That's the list. And I really hope he's able to maintain the 1.4 rate just so he's able to get there. But yeah, even Dwayne Wade in his peak only averaged 1.3 blocks per game. I think it kind of starts and ends there. Like the offense He always makes the right play. He can run pick and roll with anybody. Vooch comes in and he's able to make someone like that feel comfortable. Amari Williams comes in, makes him feel comfortable straight away. But I think that Derrick White defensively, the way that he defends the rim, like guards in transition, gets out, like everything. This is like, and I thought he slipped last season defensively, and he is now playing the best defense I think he's ever played.
Yep.
And that's why the numbers are the way they are, because you look at the on-offs, the offense is actually kind of the same with him on versus off. It's the defense just goes to a completely different level with him on versus off. And I think it's because of that.
Yeah, and like even for his dreadful efficiency and his high volume, which is usually a deadly combination for an offense, the offense is not much better, but it's still better when Derrick White's out there. It's like 1.5 points better with him out there. So like that's how valuable he is, even on the offensive end, even when he can't make a shot. So, all right. So you didn't give me a grade though, Jake.
Oh, I guess it can't be an A+.
Yeah,
because of the shooting efficiency. I think, oh man, it's so hard for me to go below A, but I think Derek would want me to give him an A-. You know,
I think it's been bad.
Yeah,
it's been bad.
52% true shooting, worst of his career by like a mile, and that's the standard that I think he holds himself to. Should be. He would. It's what sucks is he would have been an all-star with like 55, 56% true shooting. Oh well.
Yeah, like -1 relative true shooting, like 1% below average, and he would be an all-star. So yeah, and like I think to Derrick's greatness, if there were players who had career low true shootings, they would be fucking horrible. And like Derrick's so good at everything else, doesn't matter. All right, Peyton Pritchard. Pritchard's a tough one. Okay, so raw stats: 17, 4.2, 5.3, which is like pretty. Almost a stock a game. Looks like pretty damn good for Peyton Pritchard. Ridiculous 4.5 assist to turnover ratio. Efficient-ish, like kind of league average efficiency. I feel like the defense has slipped some for Pritchard this year. Like he was an absolute bulldog last year, like a solid point of attack defender. He's still fine. But I don't feel like he's had like positive defensive moments or like large swaths of games where it's like, man, Pritchard's really getting into these guys. He's had times where he's looked good defensively, but I think on balance, it's been a slight downgrade. The playmaking, the ball handling, all that's really grown. I feel like he's really grown into this role as sort of like the pseudo third option. Man, these are going to be boring, because I feel like I'm going to give Pritchard, like the shooting dipping some kind of hurts. So I'm gonna go, I think, a B+ for Pritch. I'm not sure what else you could really ask for him other than some shots keep going in, because like the offensive load's so big. Of course, the defense is gonna slip, but I'm trying to be fair.
Yeah. And the offensive rebounding has slipped pretty significantly too.
Yeah.
Like average 1.3 offensive rebounds per game. That was like, so it was an insane last season. I think that is the role. Like he's playing 32.7 minutes per game this year versus 28.4 last year. And the role is significantly heavier. The burden is significantly heavier. Like we've loved the development of like the mid-range, the post game. Like when he gets the way he's able to get into big guys' bodies and finish over them. The bag work, as the kids say, has been fucking filthy this year. But that's hard work. Like, dude, like there's very few players I feel like when I watch them are working as hard as Pritchard, because he doesn't have the burst to like get through guys. It's like all dribble moves and leverage.
Yep.
And that's how he's creating his advantages. But yeah, I think B+. I'll go A- still though. Like, I think not B+ is fair. The on-offs aren't great for him as well. And with the slippage on a couple of the margins and the shooting being down, again, I think he'd want to grade himself hard. I think he wants to believe that he's got another full letter grade of space to grow in the back half of the season in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, totally agree. And look, these are based on expectations, right? And I expected Pritchard to get a little better. I expected volume stuff to go up. He's so like a B- is like you're exactly as I expected this year.
Okay.
So he's like slightly exceeded expectations, and that means he's playing really fucking good because he's already pretty damn good. I'm just going by minutes here. I don't think Vooch really.
I was going to say we could
incomplete.
probably skip Vooch and Simons. And
Yeah,
I know
no,
we love
Simons.
yeah.
Not on the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Queta, almost 10 a game, basically 10, 8, 1.5, 1.3 blocks, 0.9 steals, so over like 2.2 stocks. It's highly efficient, right? His true shooting's like 65.5. The on-offs are ridiculous. We are way better with Nemi on the court than off, and it's been that way the entire season. And it is a big sample size, 1,000 minutes with him off, 1,000 minutes with him on. Given where I thought we were with Nemi, the defense has been an absolute revelation. I legitimately think he's one of the better defensive bigs in the NBA now. And I can't he's just fucking good now.
Fucking good.
For me, yeah, Nemi, A+. I'm a clear A+. Yeah.
Yeah. How much did we talk about in the offseason that our big man rotation is garbage? I think I'm going to post my own Celtics blog article ranking big man rotations and having us dead last. Like it was like a little bit, you could have made an argument for us to be like 25 probably, but like for fun, I was like, put us 32 or 30. Dude's awesome. Like, it doesn't look like traditional still with some of like the hook shot, dribble move, catching the ball stuff's looking a little clunky out there, but the impact and the numbers speak for themselves. And when he's on the court and you see Tatum like coming back soon, like the defense can be fucking elite. With Queta out there protecting the rim, the rebounding's gotten really good. After I bullied him kind of in that little stretch about 3 to 4 weeks ago, rebounding's been on a 10, had a 20 rebound game recently. Like, yeah, Rui in the chat, stand up, man. Is your guy. Shout out Portugal.
Yeah, and the Portuguese boys were right, man. They were trying to tell us. Yeah.
And I think this show, like we try and just be honest, not have agendas unless it's about Derrick White, obviously. And Rui's often like you guys have always been fair, and Queta deserves all the flowers, all the praise.
Yep.
Like proven that not only can he be a good backup big or a good, like he can be a starter on a team that's going to win 50 plus games, and a guy you like feel good about in the playoffs. Like that's not the spot you feel bad about. It's like, yeah, I think we could win a title with Nemi as the guy, as long as the rest of the team is now. Can we win a title with Luka Garza and Vooch as your backup bigs? Now I don't know. Maybe this year, when the league feeling a bit weird, but yeah, I feel great when he's out there now.
It's crazy, man. Like literally many times where I'm like, we got to get Nemi back out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Jaylen and Nemi are on the bench, and I'm like, Kata's got to get back out there. We got to settle this rundown. It's truly crazy, man. Shout out to him. He has like completely changed kind of the trajectory of this team and how it builds its roster, which is like the highest praise you can basically have. Sam Hauser. I said B- was like you're performing exactly to my expectations. 9, 3.8, 1.4. Hauser, I think shooting just a shade under 40% from 3, slight negative on-off differential, but we outscore opponents by 7.5 points a game. Well, per 100, I mean, when he's out there. I think Hauser, the 2-point efficiency's fallen off a cliff. He was actually super efficient from 2 last year, even though he took like very few of them. I think part of that's he's kind of spreading his wings a little bit, but I think the defense has gotten better this year. I've been like really praising his defense recently. I feel like his help defense, he's just everywhere. He's mucking it up on the boards. You had that great point where it's like, it seems like Hauser's learned to just like tip the ball and keep it alive. You were spot on all over that. He does that all the time to allow us to secure defensive rebounds that might not go to him. But still, like, I think he's not much different than he has been, and the shooting and the efficiency slightly dipped. So I'm going B, just a straight B for Hauser.
Yeah, I think if you were to split the season into to first and second half, you've got like C-,
Yeah.
D plus, and then the last 20 games, like A. And he's been on fire lately. So like first 31 games, 33% from 2, 37.6% from 3. Last 20 games, 66.7% from 2. Like he's kind of figured that out, and 41% from 3. Yeah, it's kind of a tale of two halves of a season for Hauser, and I think that's coincided with the defense getting better. The rebounding ticked up in that time as well. When he's firing, and that's why he's held on to his starting spot in the rotation for so long now. When Hauser's cooking and the defense is going well, and you have that feeling of when the ball gets to him open, you're like, and Drew Carter's like, bad idea after it goes in, like leaving that guy open. That's like the guy that you feel really good about being your like 6th, 7th man on a finals team. But we're grading on the totality of the season, and I think like B minus is like totally fair. But he's been really, really like A minus level over the past 20.
Yeah, no, for sure. Totally agree. We kind of have to rip through these if we're gonna have time for the Derrick White breakthrough. So let's rapid fire.
Hang on, let's quickly do prize picks.
Yep. I can hit it for you if you need me
Prize
to.
picks time. Hopefully we've all recovered from the Drake May situation. That shoulder tackle was terrible. But yeah, look, once you know what time it is. Stripes tomorrow, All-Star game. I don't know what the other teams are called, but Stripes.
Stars
probably. There you go. Whatever Jaylen Brown or Jamal Murray, those are the two guys I'm locking in on. Go more on points. I know Jaylen Brown taking this seriously. Jamal Murray's going to take this thing seriously for Team World. Let's go more on team points. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. It's good to be right.
Look, the All-Star game sucks. PrizePicks can make it watchable. If there's no better endorsement for PrizePicks than that. Okay, Walshy, weird one. I feel like the highs have been A++++, and then the lows have been like D minus, where it's just like, oh man, this guy has not gotten any better at all. I love Walshy. But I think the highs and the flashes, and you know, even when he's not like really impacting the game from a box score standpoint, I think he's been still pretty impactful defensively and just making the right decision offensively. So I'm gonna think I'm a B+ on Walshy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, how can you go lower than B+? Like even A-, again, relative to expectations coming out of Summer League, like talking about, is his contract going to be guaranteed? Yeah, the floor has gotten way higher. The 3-point shot, he hit 1 or 2 in the most recent kind of stretch of games. Yeah. Good to see him kind of make one of those. I just love the drives. I love the drives. The stuff that we fell in love with, like in the first Summer League, is the stuff that I think that we all and both still love, is like the decision making and the athleticism and kind of the skill blend. It is all there for him. Like when he gets downhill and like kind of like decel, the finishes, he's able to get his arms over defenders. And then when he like, I don't know what it is, there are just some games where it seems like the motor or like all the impact stuff is really firing. And when that's happening, then he looks kind of like wing Derrick White, where he's like pulling down all these rebounds, contesting shots, knocking down shots, making plays. Like the flashes are pretty high level. And when you're talking about a guy that we're worrying about him like staying in the league, Walshy, man, it's Walshy Island is thriving. I'm ready to go A-.
Yeah. All right. Love it. Jake, should we audible? Should we just like finish this out and do the deep dive like tomorrow or Monday? Because it's already 8:40. Yeah. And like so we want to do Derrick's deep dive justice. So all right, cool. Slight change of plans. We'll just rip through the grades and give everybody a few minutes instead of having to do like A, B, B, C, D.
Yeah, that's on me. I was in the wrong StreamYard room.
We would not have had time anyway. You know how we are, man. This is like, we would definitely not have had time.
Okay, I'm less stressed now.
Yeah. So on the deep dive, keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers. If you are not a Patreon subscriber, please go subscribe. Jake and I, or Jake and Ben, or just Jake, will be doing the Derrick White deep dive in the next probably 48 hours at some point. Okay. In that case, next up is Luka Garza. Mr. Garza.
Your man.
I apologize. I was wrong. I did not think there was any way he would. The defense is bad. It's bad. It's just really, really bad. And it still is no matter what. There's an 11 defensive rebounding percentage.
Not according to the defensive numbers.
It makes no sense to me. But regardless, no matter what, he is a rotation player. And I did not think there was any chance that Luka Garza was going to be a rotation player this year. The screening, the dribble handoff stuff, the knockdown shots when he's wide open and has some time to load it up. The offensive rebounding has been really good and like just good enough defensively, executes the scheme. He is the jewel in Joe Mazzulla's coaching crown. The fact that he has turned this guy into something that's like a positive contributor is ridiculous.
Caitlin Clark knows ball, dude.
Yeah, apparently.
Shout out. I think, if Joe, maybe this is Joe's like big picture magnus opus. Like his tactical magnus opus was benching the starting lineup, but his like development magnus opus, his coup de grace to date is turning Luka Garza into a plus 7.3 net player.
It's
a guy
ridiculous.
that when he's on the court, 115.1 defensive rating. Yeah, we got budget Luke Cornett offensively. And what's been great about the Garza experience is like he's turned into a kind of a folk hero-y end of bench type player. A guy that plays this hard, that battles on the offensive glass, that plays in a very distinct way. Like he kind of gives off a lot of Scal energy to me, like the way that he like moves, and he's probably been better than Scal has at any point for the Celtics, at least, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, and like it's not even end of bench guy now. Maybe a bit more end of benchy to Vucevic is here, but for the last month plus, he's been like it got to there was that little stretch where I was yelling at Queta about the rebounding, and I was like, get Garza out there. And the fact that was happening is insane. And I think we still need a bigger sample on the shooting, but I feel pretty comfortable. Like he's closer to the type of shooter that he was in college than the type of shooter that he was like at mini, I think was 31% kind of total attempts coming out of the Timberwolves. Like being a guy that you can kind of trust to knock down some threes and make decisions and set really good screens and offensive rebound. Like I think calling him a good offensive player is factual, and he can be part of a good defensive ecosystem apparently, as long as Joe Mazzulla is your coach.
I think that's fair. Like he executes the scheme and he plays really hard in the regular season. That's good enough for what he brings you on the offensive side. So what's your grade for him?
That has to be an A, no?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you could say it's lower than an A.
I mean, to you, it's like A++ probably.
Yeah, probably. Yes. Him and Austin Reeves. I've never been more wrong on two players in my life.
Yeah. Well, everyone was wrong about Austin Reeves considering he was undrafted. So,
yeah, that's a fact. All right. Ugo is next. Look, the counting stats aren't going to pop out at you. 4, 3 rebounds, 1 that's Baylor. Never mind. 3.8, 3.3, 0.6 for Ugo. Just almost the stock in just 15 minutes. I think Ugo is really more about the intangibles, the flashes, the defensive tape, the defensive instincts, the maniacal way he plays the game of basketball, the way he does not back down from anybody, the fact that he's had good minutes on like Karl Anthony Towns and point guards. I said if we see some flashes here and there from Ugo, that'll be a successful rookie season for him. He's well beyond that. I mean, he's a regular part of the rotation and like impacts winning regularly. The on-off numbers are ridiculous. It's like plus 10 point differential when he's on. Like we're way better when Ugo's on the court.
It's a 12.5 swing with him off, which is like Jokic level stuff.
Yeah. I think there's some noise in there, but I
think a little bit.
Yeah. But I also think like a 6'7", 6'8" high level defender who like you can't totally leave open, that cuts and sets screens. Those guys impact winning, and Ugo impacts winning. So I'm going A.
And the rebounding.
Yeah,
the rebounding. I love it so much. He's awesome on the glass. Like, I accidentally by reflex I just typed in Jordan Walsh's name. But yeah, the rebounding from Ugo per 36. I looked at this the other day. What is it rebounding? Yeah, 8 rebounds per 36 for like the 19-year-old rookie who basically didn't play for the team that he got drafted by in Real Madrid, being this good. And I have to go back to the Discord and like I feel like we talked about how many minutes we kind of guessed that he would play this year. I think if you told us he would play 700 minutes, we'd be like, oh, sick. We got quite a lot of Ugo. He's already played 744 minutes and been an integral part of the Boston Celtics. Like Mazzulla, as we've seen, will not play you unless he thinks you're helping this version of the team win. And he's been just as hard on Ugo as anybody else. There was that play in the Bulls game where he got a pass on the short roll and then tried to finish it. And Joe was screaming at him. And I think because he was supposed to kick it out and made a bad rim read, that's part of the philosophy. Like, cause it was basically a turnover. Yanked him. And I may have yanked him again in the same game. And I forget exactly. I think, yeah, it was like a defensive assignment. Someone came downhill and he went up, but like fouled. And like Joe's been as hard on him as anybody. So for him to earn 744 minutes, basically the most of any of that group, because Walsh is just ahead. Walsh at 885 and then Ugo at 744. Baylor's coming though over the last 20 or so. But the fact that he's been able to earn these minutes and be this impactful, like the shooting's really fallen off since his kind of hot start. I've kind of voiced concern about the shooting because he can't even make a free throw now. And again, all of this is so small sample that like you can't really worry, but he's down to 47% from the free throw line. So that was as far as like kind of if you're concerned, like that's in the back, that's a lizard brainy thing. Like how can he shoot at all? We got a lot more shots to get up before we have to actually worry about it. But the way that he attacks on drives, again, all two of Walsh and Ugo, anytime they decide to put their head down and drive, like Ugo, less about making decisions, but at the same time, when he had that steal against the Heat where he plays 2 and then has the wraparound pass to Jaylen in transition, it's just like the ceiling flashes from him are like kind of scary levels. And then I think also the opposite has been true too, which is not surprising considering he's came in as someone with like so little, game experience at the professional level. But the highs, the defense, like the defensive stocks stuff, like the fact that he's guarded so many guys, the help defense when him and Tatum are on the court, like Ugo's really good at kind of knowing exactly when to go and he's able to recover and play too. It's very like Tatum does it differently, but being able to play gaps and like feel like you're swarming, to have that length of both of those guys out there is going to be menacing.
Yeah, dude. Ugo plays too like he's a terrier darting back and forth between two of them. Tatum just doesn't move, and he's just like, try something. I will be position. There. Yeah, he's just always right, exactly. Arms and legs spread wide. It's like, I will block your shot. Don't even try it. Yeah, man, like there's some absurd defensive lineups in play here once Tatum comes back, and Ugo will be a huge part of those. I think you're right. Like, really, it is about the fact that going into this season, I bet if we guessed minutes in the Discord, I bet I said like 250 or 300. And suspecting many of them at the end of the season. Like, he really was drafted as like in 2 or 3 years, that the floor, or like what this guy could be, is really tantalizing. He's already a positive NBA contributor. That's absurd. That's ridiculous. So the fact that he can build on top of that high floor already is it's super, super encouraging, man. And like, we might have found one. We might have found like a real dude with Ugo too. Like, I love Walshy, but he always was like a defensive 3-and-D guy. Like, I think that Ugo's size, physicality at 19 and the way he reads the game defensively, like, there could be really, really like a high-end starter type guy here, which is just going to be so fun to watch if it happens, dude. It's great.
Yeah. It is so good for the long-term health of the roster.
Yeah.
Like the Jaylen, Jayson, Ugo, like Derrick White, Queta, 5. That's just like so versatile on both ends. Like, good luck. Fuck, that's great. I love the lineup so much because Ugo can effectively play the 4, I think. And because asking Tatum to do it is fine, and he's been basically the best 4 in the league for a while. But asking Ugo we've been asking for someone to carry the dirty workload for Tatum for so long, and year 2, 3, 4 Ugo, when he starts to get on the Tatum Jaylen Avengers program, I'm ready.
Dude, how strong is he going to be when he has like years of NBA weightlifting? Like, he's going to be an off. That's why OG has been my comp for him.
I love it.
Just because like the greatest part of OG Anunoby's game is like he's agile and he's like the strongest dude on the court at all times. So, what'd you give him for a grade? I think I went A.
Yeah. A. I feel
everybody gets an A.
If he was shooting above 50% from the free throw line, he would get an A+. But come on,
fair enough. That's brutal. Yeah. Those are spoony numbers at the line there, Ugo. All right, Baylor's probably, I don't know, we could maybe do Amari really quickly, but Baylor's our last like real guy who's played in the rotation. 3.8, 2.8 boards, 1 assist a game, half a steal, 0.6 steals a game. But I think Baylor won his on-off differential per cleaning the glass. He's 4th on the team, +4. So we're 4 points better per 100 when Baylor's out there. Good sign. And then in his last 15 games, 6 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2 assists in, I think 20 minutes a game. So much like Hauser, I feel like 10, 15 games ago, I probably would give in Baylor like a C-, D+, but he has played really, really well over the last 15, 20 games. He's shooting 37% in that time period, 50% from 2, which is like fine. That's good enough. Yeah. He's started to really flash like the passing and the shooting combo, like the decision making, the sort of Buccaneer flair he's got as a player, I think is kind of unique to what a team that can be a little like robotic in the way we execute offense in some ways. And then there's the defensively. I don't know who this guy is. I have no, like, who body swapped with you, Baylor, because the defense is absurd. So with all that in mind, I think what he's shown over the last 15 games is good enough to me to get him into like BB+ territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Another guy that coming into the season, we were very down on. Hand up. I was probably not an NBA player. And I haven't checked in on Filipowski lately, but I haven't seen much about him going on the timeline and people complaining about Filipowski. I know that we talked about that. And Baylor, the defense is the story. Two things are the story to me. The defense, that didn't seem possible, but he's legit guarding a ton of different positions, and the rebounding is tying into the defense. Like he's rebounding at a rate much higher than his size would indicate. And then the 3-point shot was the thing. It's like, well, he's especially not an NBA player if he can't shoot, because coming into the season, he hasn't done it yet. And we're now over 109 attempts for the season. Yep. Still need more. But like when you add that to his college sample and like the type of player with the touch and the feel, like I feel confident saying that he's going to be a guy that can hit open shots. I think even the difficulty on his 109 threes, a ton of them have been these no dip threes.
Yeah.
Like the fact that that's been something that he's clearly worked on and something that he's already been executing at a pretty high level, I think gives you confidence that he's a good shooter. So those two things, the defense being way better than we thought and like being confident that he can actually shoot, that's probably an NBA guy because you know the passing's there. And then the work ethic thing that we were also a little bit worried about, or like, is he not taking stuff seriously? Whatever he took the dirty work there. That's the only way you get on the court seriously to the point where now Joe Mazzulla start trusting him to start consistently. So hat tip, just hat that's almost destroyed tip if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, like we ripped him because look, it was a preseason game. It was crunch time of a preseason game, and he just like looked like he didn't want to be there. And I understand, like, look, it's preseason layoff. You are a dude fighting for a roster spot, essentially. You are a dude like scratching and clawing for minutes. I don't care if it's preseason. You need to play like your hair is on fire. And he's brought it, man. He has brought it so hard the last couple of weeks. It's ridiculous. And I think the nice little thing, like compared to Walshy and Ugo, like the assist to turnover ratio for Baylor is 2.4. I feel like his physicality on his drives has really started to tick up. He gets himself in trouble sometimes where he'll like jump in the air, but he's a good enough passer and has good enough vision that he can like find these kickouts that they're kind of ugly, but they're also somewhat effective because he's gotten so deep into the paint. So I real quick on Flip, last 15 games, 11, 8.5 on 60-40 shooting. So
okay.
He's been pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty
his
good.
On-off differential is positive. So like,
I was gonna say,
Flip's good, man, but that's okay. Like it doesn't. It's not necessarily a comparison between Flip and Baylor. It's between a guy who's an NBA player and a guy who wasn't. We have got an NBA player now, a guy who in like wings. I would so much rather have a wing like Baylor than a no defense center, because no defense centers, like, they're my least favorite archetype of player. So like Flip's good. He's an NBA player. They do. Yeah, apparently, Flip would have been great, but whatever. But the comparison, like, it's not really about that anymore because Baylor has proved he's not a waste of a pick, and he has a chance to be a real rotation guy. Like, I'm at the point now where I think I might trust him in the playoffs if the defense is still real once we get
because if the defense can sustain to a degree, he's not going to get left open. Because as much as we love Ugo, teams are going to look at the scouting report and filter on Basketball Reference and be like, do not guard him.
Same with Walshy, I think, too.
I think so, too. I think Walsh could get, like, I think Walsh can shoot, though, but they're going to, like, Walsh, you got to hit 5 threes. Dude, this happens to, like, good shooters. Like Grant Williams hitting 10 threes or whatever it was, 7 for 18. Like, I know Zach Lowe and Katz were talking about Vooch being left open. He's got like a 2-year sample size of being close to 40%. Like, you got to be a really fucking good shooter to be guarded in the playoffs. I think of those 3 wings, he's the one guy that's going to make teams actually guard. And even when he puts the ball on the ground, like, I know I enjoy the drives of Ugo and Walsh more, but Baylor does good stuff with it. He sometimes, the defender often catches up to him, but he like gets the defense in rotation and then makes really good passes out of it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think right now he's just further along as an offensive player, well, like considerably further along than Walshy and Ugo, and that's okay. He's like 4 years older than even Walshy. So that makes sense. But like, Isaac Okoro, 39% in Cleveland, 37% in Cleveland. He's completely ignored in the playoffs.
Got to be the biggest like psyop in the world. Like, I've never seen him make a shot.
I know, dude. It's crazy. But like, he doesn't take enough. He's a hesitant shooter, and he needs to force teams to guard him, and he just can't, even though like the percentages look okay. Baylor will not like shy from the bright lights either.
Grant Williams,
he's gonna be like, give me the rock, boys. Hell yeah, let the Baylor show come to town. And I could definitely see Ugo and Walshy, maybe the lights being a little too bright for them. That will not happen to Baylor. So I know you got to get out of here. No. So we should probably wrap it up there. But grade on Baylor. I think I went B+. I'm gonna go B+ on Baylor.
Hey, I have to go back and just make my list of grades. Everyone got an A basically, except for Pritchard and Jaylen and Derrick.
I taught a class last year and I had 27 students and I gave 21 A's. So
fucking good. As we should.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
As you should. Like, unless, yeah, that's I needed more teachers like you. Maybe when I go back and start my master's degree in like 2 weeks, the teachers will be nicer to me this time around, but we'll see.
Hell yeah. Well, good luck with that, dude. That's very exciting. That's fun.
Thanks.
It's awesome. All right. Well, on that note, that's going to do it. Like I said, we're definitely going to do some Patreon content very soon. The Derrick White deep dive. Otherwise, we will be around. Check our Twitters. Keep updated. We are out. Peace.